I ain't that superstitious. Life can be so vicious. Learning on your own can turn your heart to stone. Apocalyptic mind, my head was full of sorrow. Whispered words of logic, things I need to learn. I feel like we are the only ones alive. I feel like we are the only ones alive. So hold on, well hold on. You know there ain't a lot of time, but I guess that we can make it. Well hold on, well hold on. I know there ain't a lot of time, but I guess that we can make it. Till you get your pepper spray, water can is on its way. Fighting on your own can turn your heart to stone. The truth is on the march again. Wipe those tears away. Apocalyptic mind, she shoots me with her soul. I feel like we are the only ones alive. I feel like we are the only ones alive. So hold on, well hold on. You know there ain't a lot of time, but I guess that we can make it. Well hold on, well hold on. You know there ain't a lot of time, but I know that we can make it. Hi there, Martin here from Jars Beginner Guitar. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today I'm looking at Richard Ashcroft's Hold On, which is a kind of a new single that's out. Hot on the charts. A fantastic song. Really, really catchy. In the vein of Lucky Man. I don't know why. I heard it and I thought, Lucky Man. Similar anyway. So this is a really good song, a real good strummer. I've seen a couple of acoustic versions he's done, although the original recording is not acoustic. It's more kind of an upbeat song. The acoustic versions are really good. See Richard Ashcroft strumming the songs, so I'm going to base this version on that, more in line with acoustic guitar strummer's version. Hope that is good. It's great that he's back, of course. If you know, or if you're familiar with the Verve songs, you know, brilliant. Haven't seen Richard Ashcroft, I suppose, around as much as what you expect, being such a kind of fantastic singer and acoustic guitar player. If you're not familiar with his stuff, I urge you to check out his solo stuff, of course, and the Verve, or the Verve, or Verve as they were known in the early days. I was lucky enough to see them in 90s, kind of early 90s actually, when they were touring. I saw them at Joiners in Southampton, which was kind of, I think that was around about their EP days, kind of pre, or just about the release of their first album. So that was quite good thing to do. They were fantastic then, really good band to watch. Kind of knew they were going on to good things, better things. And you see some bands and you think, no, but the Verve, Richard Ashcroft and the guitar player, is fantastic. So what we will be doing in this lesson, we'll be looking at the interesting use of the suspended chords. It's quite a difficult one to play actually, but If I've got time, I'll look at maybe a slightly easier version. Again, you'll need stamina to do the strum pattern, as always. If you've done Lucky Man, you'll be okay. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump on in and look at the song. Okay, hi there. So to the song, let's have a look. Okay, we're going to really follow the song sheet through. I'm going to talk about the structure as I kind of work my way through it. So for example, I'll start with the chords and I'll show you what type of chords is going on in the verse, and etc, etc. I'll move on through the song. And then I'll address the strum pattern at some point through the lesson. Quite a tricky strum pattern. Well, again, it depends on your level. It can be difficult, it could be quite easy. So here we are then. Right, let's go. So the song starts off with an F. Push through. So anyway, so an F. Let's have a go, let's start. Richard Ashcroft is using a different type of F. He's playing this F here. So you can get those 4 strings, you know, you're onto a winner really. Or even 3, you're onto a winner. Yeah, that's not difficult, is it? So start with your first finger on either bar it. I'm doing the bar version. And I'm pretty sure Richard Ashcroft is. If not, just get your finger on B1. OB1, as I like to call it. OB1 or B1. Get your second finger onto G2, your third finger onto D3. Now this is what Richard Ashcroft is doing, and you can see his thumb is hanging over the middle, so he's kind of muting out the top 2 strings. I cannot do this very well, so I've reverted to doing a slightly different F. If you want to have a go at this, so what you're doing, you're strumming this F. Mute the top 2 with your thumb, if you can, or just don't strike them, strike the bottom 4 strings. And what you're doing, you're opening up that G here. You've got a second chord halfway through, so you've got this down 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Lift up your second finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now this is an F sus2. Your G is the second note in the F major scale. So you're playing really two chords there. F sus2. If you're familiar with Richard Ashcroft's earlier work, particularly Lucky Man, he uses suspended chords also. Then your second chord is G. You can use that version if you want. You could use this version if you want of G. So let's just run through it. Third finger on E3, strum the bottom 4. There's a basic G. Slightly harder. G is first finger on A2, second finger all the way up there on E3. All the strings strummed. Should be a song, shouldn't it? All the strings strummed. Or a tongue twister. All the strings strummed. My new catchphrase. Okay, so let's put that together. So far we've got, I'm going to revert to my F if you don't mind, which is, I'll show you, is bar. I'm barring B1, E1. My second finger is going on to G2. My third finger is going on to A3. My pinky is going on to D3. This is the F I've trained with, the easiest one for me. So I'm actually doing a version of Richard Ashcroft's F, not his version. And what I'm doing is I'm putting my thumb on the F here, and I'm strumming the big old F. And what I'm doing is I'm still lifting up my second finger to play an F sus2. So this version is like this. Now that's the G shape I'm electing to play. I think it's pretty much the same as what Richard Ashcroft is doing. So you're leaving your first finger on B1, your second finger's coming up to play A2, your third finger is stretching up to play E3, and your pinky's dropping down to E3 on the bottom. Again, this is my vitamin list for the day. There you go. I haven't got cod liver oil. Anyway, so there we go. There's a G. Now that's the G he's landing on, and then he's halfway through on the second bar of G. He's lifting up his first finger, I believe, and so this is basically, this would make the G. I thought I'd written that down on my notes and I have not. It's actually, he's playing a C note, which is a fourth on the G scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's adding, so it's a G4, G sus4, and then he's raising his first finger to play a normal G. Just with those fingers here. If you haven't done this shape G, give it a go, it's worth being able to do it. Okay, so altogether so far we have so vicious, burning on your own, can turn your heart to stone. Okay, a simpler version for that would be, as we've talked about earlier, bottom 4 strings. You could, I suppose. You could still get that G sus4 in there. You would be playing bottom 4 strings like that. So it's doable for a beginner. Now the lovely thing about this song is it really does just stay on F and G all the way through. You're basically just bouncing back and forth, and lovely structure, and he's just using different types of G and F. F and G. F and G. So basically you've got 4 different chords going on in the song. You've got, are they there? You've got F sus2, you've got F, G sus4 and G, which is great if you're learning about sus chords. It should be up there right now. It's my wall. Okay, so let's move on through in the verse then. So that's the verse, which I've just demonstrated. In the pre-chorus, you've got more or less the same thing going on. Just sings a bit lower, really, singing at a different pitch. I feel like we are the only ones alive. I feel like we are the only ones alive. I feel like we are the only ones alive. timing's a bit tricky there when you're singing. You've got a slight pause, haven't you? I feel like we are the only ones alive. Okay, so that's the pre-chorus. Now the chorus. Basically back into really the verse. If I can just point out one small important point on the strum pattern, you do get notes that emphasise, that do help you in this particular song. So on the chorus you get, well, hold on. Now that is it's a bit harder. You're giving it a bit more, you know, strum. What can you say? You're hitting it harder. That would be the word. And that's the upstroke, and that's also the dividing point. At which point you change chord. You go into the suspended. So that would be the F sus 2. So you would have this. Hold on. Hold on. So that's the chorus. Repeats it twice. You're doing exactly the same. You just, well, if anything, you're emphasising the strum pattern maybe a little bit more than the verse, if any. You know, because Richard Ashcroft is really strumming that guitar at the start, if you watch. And what he's doing, he is actually muting the top strings, I believe, and he's really hitting the bottom 4 strings, which is quite difficult to do. But as I said, I'm doing my F shape to help me, to get me through the song, which is, it's similar. You just, obviously, still an F, just kind of adapt and do your own version, as long as you're loyal to the song. Okay, so really that's what's going on. It repeats itself. You're just bringing up the strum pattern up and down. You're obviously very skillful with your strumming here. You can see the pre-chorus is quieter, slightly quieter. The pitch is lower when he's singing, and he brings it back up for the chorus. So it's a lovely, lovely song to practice your, you know, your strumming and build up your stamina. It's, you know, you do feel it in the hand after you've done that song. Okay, so let's have a look at the strumming pattern next. The strumming pattern, what's going on here? If you're familiar with Richard Ashcroft's earlier Lucky Man, you'll have already known about the 16-note strum pattern he's doing. Really, this is an up and down. And actually, if you watch him in a new video, he's basically up and down. He's going up and down, and he's emphasising certain points in the song. At some points, he's not even strumming. He's not striking the strings, should I say? So that's something you have to get to know. If you want to do exactly what he's doing, you have to basically get to know this 16-note strum pattern. You don't have to do it. You can just count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And add your suspended chords in. 1, 2. Okay, so that will get you through the song. The next thing to do is you're going to do this 16-note strum pattern, which is really down up continually, and it depending on how you want to say this, it's 1 E and a, 2 E and a. Saying it at top whack speed is difficult to say, so I tend to go 1 E and E. It helps me, whether it'll help you or not. But it's a 1 E and a, which is probably up on the screen there, you can see, just to help you know what's going on. It's 16 beats in a bar. Okay, so I'll just demo that for you. One E and work on your one E and E. One E and pronunciation's quite difficult. So there you get the idea. It's now the strum pattern I think works best. I'll put two up here. That you can do the down up down up down up, which is really a continual down up down up down up with an emphasised up in the middle where you revert to the suspended chord. Or on the G, it's the other way around, you go from suspended back to the major. So, again, to reiterate, it's a down, up. Do that again, just to reiterate, and watch out for the change on the suspended here. Practice this it's worth practicing. It really kind of picks up your strum pattern, even though it might not be your style. My style in particular is I kind of revert to lots of muted strums, even though I'm still keeping the 16th note strum pattern going. It depends whether you want to be completely loyal to the song or do your own version. I have another pattern I use, which let me just play it. I'm getting confused with all these patterns here, so it's okay. Do that again. I ain't that superstitious. I can be so vicious, learning on my own. You get the idea of what I do. I tend to bring in chops. It's more, I think it's to do with when I'm performing, it's so I can get the voice across and have more ups and downs. My voice tends to be a little bit quieter. Okay, I think that'll do for now. That kind of covers all the song. As I say, it's a great song. 2 chords, well, 4 chords if you count the suspended. Overall, a lot of fun and a really catchy song. Okay, so time to clock out. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed that lesson. Hope you've got something from it and it helps your strumming in one way or another. Okay, take care and see you again. We can make it. Hold on. I know there ain't a lot of time, but I guess that we can